This is Ryan. This is Carl Schwartz from First Blood. My homie Jesus Sedita filming us. We're from HELLFIRE INCEPTIONS. Carl.
What's up, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, my friend.
It's been a while.
I missed you.
Yeah.
I missed you. Are you glad to be back?
It feels good to be back, man. I mean, we haven't been so busy lately, you know? So, like, I don't know. It feels good to just get out and do something I like doing, you know?
Well, it's been 3 years.
It's been a while. All we do is tour Europe, you know? It's where most of us live, so it's not so easy to come out here. But it's cool. Pittsburgh's been good to us, for real. Like, been more than, like, a lot of cities in the States, so it's like a little connection we got. It's good.
Talk a little bit about that fest you're playing on this tour.
Shit. Amnesia Rock Fest. I don't know much about it, honestly. And huge bands play there, like it's like Slayer and Snoop Dogg and all that stuff. But someone we know knows someone we know who like gave us an offer, and man, that makes this whole trip possible, you know, to come out there, because that's something that's like, I don't know how many people come, 30,000, 40, maybe more, I don't even know. But it's cool to be able to do that and be able to like get us on flights that we can come out and do like some small shows that we like doing, you know? Not to say we don't like doing fests and stuff like that, but it's a good reason to come out here and just like break out of like just working all the time, or you know, it's hard to find time for the band stuff, get everyone from different cities to come together, so this is good. I mean, we haven't even played yet, so I'm sitting here like real calm, you know? We play next, after this next band, I'll be in a totally different mood.
Oh, of course.
When we're done, I'll be like, man, it's been a while, it feels good.
Is that why you were practicing for 12 hours?
It's not really me, you know. I mean, it's like we don't. Our drummer's with a different band right now, and then we have like
Bobby Blood. Shout out to him.
Marauder right now.
Overseas right now.
Yeah. So it's like we gotta go over shit every time. It's like it's more like a stress than anything, you know. It's hard to like get the same guys all the time, do the same thing.
But our good friend AJ,
he's doing it.
Is filling in on the behind the kit.
The
tonight.
Pittsburgh legend, yeah.
Pittsburgh legend,
yeah.
AJ, baby.
Got a good history with AJ.
So talking a little bit about, you know, what's going on with First Blood for like the future, like what, you know, is there an album coming out in the near future? Is it going to be a little bit, or you know, are we going to have to wait a while for it?
No, I mean, it's been 5 years since the last record. I mean, I'm working on it right now. I think about it all the time. It's just that, you know, sometimes you just get caught up with shit at home when you know, we're all working. Most of us have kids, you know, so it's like most of the time I leave home just to go to work.
Shout out to Wolfgang.
Wolfgang, my bud, I miss you, pal. If you're watching this, I know you're gonna watch this soon, so I miss you, bud. We're gonna play some shows. We're gonna come home and hang out in Sweden, all right, pal? All right.
Anyway, Dad's a good man.
Yeah. I leave my house to go see you, little buddy. I go to work. I go to the studio to try and riff out a little bit, try to record some new stuff. But like, you know, we get that new record done, we'll be out here. It'll be soon. I mean, I'll have it done by the end of this year, no doubt, you know? Whether it comes out on some label or we put it out, I don't know. But it's like, we're definitely not gonna be touring all year, kind of thing, like, you know. But when that record comes out, we'll be back in the States, we'll be back to Pittsburgh, probably do a bunch of European things, maybe try to go to some places we hardly ever go, you know, Asia and Japan and stuff like that, but pretty soon. Not the distant future, like pretty soon, I would say.
New album rules.
It might rule, I hope it rules, but it's going to be called Rules, so maybe about some other rules that we all think about but ignore most of the time, you know?
Is it gonna have that same message that you always kind of bring?
It's going to be a concept record for sure, yeah, just like the last one. Start to finish, every song is going to connect. But I think it's going to hit more to like what people think about every day. Right? You know, I don't think people think about how fucked up politics. People don't think about that all the time, but I think with the message on this new record, I think it's going to hit more, I think, down to earth with most people. I think like stuff that really bothers them, but they don't take time to think about. And when they do, it kind of clicks and they're like, fuck, man, I wish we could change all this shit, but the sad reality is I don't think no one can change anything, you know? The only thing they can do is change themselves, you know? And live a happy life and be around people that they love, you know? And that's going to be more or less like the message of the whole record.
I think that's why so many fans love you and love First Blood, is because your albums do, you know, they do project a message. There's something behind it. It's not, you know, just sitting you know, and writing lyrics down that you just decided to come up with, you know, there's a big message in all your records, I believe. That's what I get from it.
I think with our earlier stuff, like, you know, especially California, like our first record, it's like, I mean, a lot of credibility is like just thrown out the door when you got songs like Next Time I See You, you're fucking dead. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, that was a joke song we wrote when we were off tour with Terror for a while.
Then it became a massive t-shirt seller.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks when a gimmick is like kind of like what most people think of you, but it's like, that's not who I am, you know? That was like jokes with other dudes that we hung out with, you know? But I really wanted it from the beginning to mean something, you know? And that's why Silence and Betrayal took such a shift from like older stuff. And maybe a lot of dudes who just wanted to mosh and just like, man, they just wanted to hear some heavy shit. They might have been turned off a little bit by it, you know? But I mean, that's just like what I was thinking, what I was reading about all the time, and just stuff that I just wanted to put out there and get it over with, you know? So this next record is definitely going to be going back to like remembering why, I mean really why we do this, you know? Kids don't want to come out to a show and have their fucking math history teacher or whatever like talking to them like why you gotta like buckle down and you know, it's like they want to come out and have a good time and kind of escape a lot of the things that bother them, you know? That really like kind of like puts a cap on their satisfaction in life, you know? Like, I think a lot of people are always looking for more. You know, and hopefully if a show can give you some energy and some like sort of positivity to like, you know, at least think that you can get in that direction and like escape from all the stuff that stresses you out. That's what I want to try and do. But at the same time, you know, there is a path. I mean, I want to keep focused on like important shit that I think is important, you know, without preaching to people, without bumming them out at the same time or boring the hell out of them. But if you want to go out and fucking mosh and like just let it out, that's your chance to do it, you know? Where else you can't just like walk down the street and fucking smash your neighbor's car if you're pissed off, you know? Go to a hardcore show, stage dive, and just like run around and just, you know, be an idiot for like a couple hours. And that's what I don't want to forget about either. But there's always going to be a message in this song for the people who want to sit down and read, and then maybe when they read it, like, oh shit, man, this song leads into that one. Like, oh, yeah, all right, okay. You know, there's something about, you know, written word that when you see it like outside of the music, and then you put it all together, I don't want to be all artsy and all that stuff like that, but I mean, when I listen to like hardcore bands that really put shit together and the soundtrack really like delivers like a chorus on that, to me that's like fucking art, man. It makes blood rush up to my face, man. It's like, oh fuck, they said it right. Why can't I? How come I couldn't say it that well, you know? So I want to try and get that on this new record, like more of like emotion and that sort of like aggression, but always with the message in the back. I mean, you'll see it. Of course, I have all the lyrics written all out there, and maybe we'll do like, not lyric videos, but every video if we do decide to do them, we'll always have like a lot of like, you know, the visual text right there. Maybe even like subtitles and shit, you know? So, just have to wait and see.
You know, for me, Silence spoke very meaningful to me because I'm a veteran, and, you know, when you sing about 9/11, and probably my favorite song on the album is Fascism. I mean, it's just, that record hits me hard, you know, and your music hits me hard. And I know there's so many people in the hardcore community that look up to you. And like, how do you perceive that as yourself when you're, you know, you come to shows and you have so many people coming up to you and telling you how much your music means to them, and like what a message it is that they get out of the music.
Yeah, man. Man, it's not so often, but when dudes like, we've had veterans against the war come up, and like, especially in Colorado, and they talk to us about like, even the parents come to the show, nothing to do with the music or the scene or anything, and they thank me, like, I really appreciate what you're doing, and my son and all his colleagues come out and they appreciate what you talk about. I mean, that for me, that's more than I ever expected, you know? I mean, that was like just my point of view and the stuff that I went through growing up, because my dad was in the military, his brother, you know what I mean? It was like sort of like I don't want to say a military family, but like when I was growing up, I wore my dad's old Marine fatigues, like all the stuff that he had in his closet downstairs in the basement, you know? That was like my, you know, I was like, I looked up to my dad, you know? But when I got old enough, you know, you start thinking about what you want to do when you get older, you know, I would talk about, you know, well, Dad, what about the military? And in my case, it's like my dad was a vet. You know, he served in Vietnam, and he was a tough dude growing up for me. He was tough, he was really, you know, disciplined. He raised me with tons of discipline. Sometimes I hated him for it, you know? But like, when you speak to my grandmother, his mother about it, like he was in tears when he would come home, just all the shit he saw. And he was a dude who would fly dudes into, into the jungle, and then he'd pick them all up dead, fly them away, And he would have dudes jammed up under his seats. And I never heard that from my dad. I hear that from my, from his sister, my aunt, my grandmother would tell me these things, and it fucking blow me away. And my dad would be like, never serve the government. Just don't do it. And that offends a lot of people who serve in the military, And that's not I'm not trying to be some punk rock dude in the band saying, fuck the military. No, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous when people say, like, especially try to, like, kind of disrespect us and say you don't support the troops. It's like, I mean, everyone supports the troops, There's no fucking, that's like a dummy argument to say. It's like, everyone wants these dudes to come home safe, no matter what they're doing, There's no, if there's people out there saying, fuck these troops, they should die, that's like, either they're just being assholes or they're just trying to get attention, But for me, it's always been a touchy topic because, like, the way my dad, he would serve and then he did all this stuff. He served the government after the military. The government turned their backs on him. They blacklisted him from his job just because his union wanted better conditions at work. The air traffic controllers, if you guys look up PACCO in like 1980, 1981, huge air traffic controller strike, and most of these guys who would land planes at airports up in the control towers were like military veterans, pilots. My dad was a pilot. And then when you have like 4 or 5 dudes like sharing radar screens, strong fucking, long ass work hours, few breaks, and you're fucking landing planes with like hundreds of people. It's like a high stress job. All they wanted to do was have better equipment, more breaks, and less hours. And at the time, Reagan was like, he does what he's told. You don't, first he said he would negotiate, then he's like 2 days later, he's like, there is no negotiating. You violate federal law, you're blacklisted. My dad, who served in the military, took all his expertise to do this, was just wiped off the map. He couldn't do it, he was fired, and he couldn't do it ever again at any airport in the United States, ever again. So imagine having your whole life taken away. That makes me, when I grow up, now I understand why my dad was pissed off all the time, and why he was so bitter. A lot of people were able to move on and do other things, but I think it was hard for my dad, But I don't blame him now that I'm older to understand that, So a lot of that sort of bitterness I tried to turn into something like, some sort of guidance for silence, And I'll keep on with that with the next one because I won't stop talking about military and government and all sorts of aggression because there's so many kids who listen to us and they're so proud and they can't wait, to ship out to the Marines or they can't wait to do that. And I don't think they need to hear the other side before they jump into something at such a young age. I think people, they'll criticize me for saying that stuff, like, well, you didn't serve, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I didn't serve because my dad told me not to serve, and I fucking love my dad. And he was like, I looked up to him as a kid, and I'll listen to him. He wanted me to go to school, he wanted a better life for me. He didn't want me to go through the same shit that he went through. So, but at the same time, I realized people who are out there doing that kind of thing, they're out there. They made the choice. They got to look out for the people they're there with. They got to look out for themselves. Their families waiting for them to come home. So of course, a lot of people listen to heavy metal, heavy music, and they listen to us. And I want to give them something with this kind of music, to help them keep their head straight and come home, and maybe not sign up to go again. Just come home, come safe, be safe. Like get home, do what you got to do to like protect yourself and the people around you. And a lot of times, heavy music like that, sometimes people don't even listen to what we talk about. They just like to roll around in some Humvee, whatever, listen to some like heavy shit, but they want to sit down and talk to me. It's a lot different than listening to a song thinking that I'm like either pro-military or anti-military or whatever. Just gotta sit down, like we're doing right now. Sit down and talk, and it's a lot different than just listening to the songs. But I try to say what I can, as much as I can, in what we're playing, but there's always like confusion and shit like that, I'm rambling. I'm going on. I can go on forever. That's a long story, kind of personal stuff. But that's what shaped the band.
Well, there's always been a strong military theme with the band.
Yeah, it's Rambo. We all love the Rambo movies and all stuff like that. Shit's like epic shit. But at the same time, it's like in reality when I watch a lot of it, it's like ridiculous. But it's fucking Rambo.
We're
here.
Yeah. And you know what I love about the hardcore community is when you want to sit down and talk with a vocalist, a band member, no matter who it is, they have no problem sitting down and talking with you. Some of these there's other bands out there who wouldn't even spend 30 seconds with somebody. And I think that's a huge reason why hardcore will always survive.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what. I mean, do you feel the same way, or?
It's definitely a different mindset from like dudes who just try to start a band and be like famous and rock stars and just, you know, try to hang out on a bus all day and just like, no, you know what I mean? It's like I said, I feel trapped sometimes when while I leave my house for work. I definitely want to see my son when I can, you know? But like, it's hard to let go of doing a band, you know? I love what I'm doing. I love like talking about the things I talk about. I don't think there's much other place in my life I can sit around and talk about these things. You know? This kind of scene and this kind of music gave me an outlet to talk about these things, and I'm pretty fortunate that there's been a decent amount of people who've listened to it, you know? Of course, there's people who criticize it and just totally dismiss it, but I mean, I don't care about that, you know? I don't tour all the time. I do it when I can. I love the opportunities that we get to do what we're doing right now, and especially when people like appreciate it. You know, dudes like you, I want to keep doing it. You know, even if it's just here, come out here like once a year or something like that. You know, I do what I can, and I do what I love.
Well, you know how much you and the band mean to me. You know, and I'm lucky that I was able to start a friendship with you, and it means the world to me. World to me.
Thanks, man.
So I will never ever forget that, no matter what. And I just can't thank you enough for your time today. And thank you for allowing us to break bread with you today as well.
Hell yeah.
And I can't wait to watch you fuck this place up tonight.
First show in a long time, man.
Hell yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Carl Schwartz from First Blood. Check these motherfuckers out.
Thanks, everybody.